Oh look, it's Tempest 10,000. No, wait. No, it isn't. It's some kind of new Stargate? No, it's not that either. Actually no, it's Gyrostarr from High Voltage for Nintendo WiiWare from 2008. Because I kind of feel like it, yeah. So Gyrostarr is a simple, straightforward shooter where you control a ship riding down the interstellar half-pipe of hyperspace, gathering energy to power up your engines so that you can make it through the warp portal on the end of each path. Along the way, the half-pipes are divided into segments by other portals, which will either give your ship a boost of speed or destroy all enemies in your way. In addition to your standard blasters, protective shielding, and upgradable weapons that last a short period of time to boost your odds, your spacecraft is also equipped with a grappling hook, used mainly to latch onto power-ups from a distance, as well as a limited set of nuclear weapons to clear the screen of enemies. You only have to fill your energy bar up to the area between the two warp rings to progress to the next level, but filling the bar completely will take you to a bonus stage where you can attempt to get a head start on energy hunting. The unique thing about Gyrostarr is that you have no set lives count. You could pretty much die as many times as you want. However, each death will cost you a segment of energy, and if you don't have enough energy by the time you jump through the final portal, you'll basically crash it to the closed-off Stargate and the game will pretty much end. You could continue from where you left off if you want to, but Gyrostarr starts off a bit slow at first, but progressively gets faster and a little more crowded as you have to contend with numerous enemies while collecting energy pickups. You also have to be careful not to shoot any pickups along the way, as you'll just push them back further, and if they touch an incoming portal, then kiss those things goodbye. This isn't a big issue early on, but when there's lots of stuff to contend with in the later levels, such as numerous enemies and such what, you have to really be careful in that regard and make full use of that grappling hook to latch on the precious energy required to clear the current level. Remember, if you don't have enough energy, you'll crash into the final gate and the game ends. That simple. With Gyrostarr, you have a number of control setups that could suit your needs. You have traditional non-motion controls with the Wii Remote, playing the game as you would an old NES game with the Wii Remote held sideways. Limited motion controls by which you steer the ship by tilting the Wii Remote through use of a nunchuck, either in conjunction with the Wii Remote or just a nunchuck alone, or my preferred control method, the classic controller. The motion-controlled steering is pretty sensitive for my tastes, and given my feeble hands, has caused me more grief than I would care for, especially in a game that demands precision if you're going to survive the game's treacherous half-pipes of doom, especially in the later levels. Best that you stick with traditional controls for this one, as they work a bit better than the motion control stuff. Graphics-wise, Gyrostarr sports perhaps some of the more impressive graphics that I've seen on a WiiWare title. The acid-trip color scheme in the background aside, the half-pipes look pretty sweet, the ships and enemies are pretty to look at despite being pretty small, and the distortion effects of the portals blurring anything behind it is a rather nice touch, and the game in general looks pretty astounding, especially during the bonus stages where everything is moving at such a fast pace, it's hard to keep up at times. But while Gyrostarr's graphics may be the game's strong point, the same cannot be said for its less than stellar soundtrack, basically a compilation of generic-sounding techno beats of sorts. I suppose it fits the game's general theme, but in the long run it's nothing memorable and serves little more than to say that it's there, as if the sounds of weapons fire, explosions, and speed boosters weren't enough to satisfy your auditory senses. It generally isn't, but that's besides the point. Overall, Gyrostarr is probably one of the better shooter titles on the WiiWare service. It's easy to get into, offers a nice challenge, can be controlled in many different ways, and is perhaps one of the better multiplayer titles ever devised. Although this came out in 2008, it's still a pretty solid WiiWare shooter, and if you're a Wii owner who's into shooters in general, then Gyrostarr is certainly one worth checking out.